Hello, my name is Chris, and I am from Fresh Look Cinema. We are going to be reviewing Pig, and starring in this film is Nicolas Cage, and it's a more solemn role for him. So, in the past, he has this hilarious acting and kind of over the top characters. This one's very isolated, very humanized by the world, and has very different viewpoints than most of his characters. This one's very solidified in the idea that his past passion was cooking, and that's what he loved until a point where that passion just fell apart. And this film starts out with him with a pig, a truffle pig. He uses a truffle pig to again gather truffles, and he cooks them up and he cooks for the pig, and that's his companion out in the wilderness all by himself. He loves it, and he actually uses it as a source of income. So every Thursday, there's a guy. He dresses fancy. He drives a fancy car, and he pays money for Nicolas Cage's character's truffles. So it's pretty straightforward. In exchange, he gives him items that he needs, whether that's seasoning, cooking, cassette tapes, so on and so forth. So during this film, I got a solemn look. I mean, it was interesting because he was very happy even throughout the film. Very happy mindset with the pig. I mean, he was enjoying his isolation. He was enjoying his life. So there was no problem. So I was like, already I knew I was like, there has to be some kind of conflict. There has to be something to happen to break up this, bliss. I mean, for him, he just looked happy feeding his pig and winking at his pig. I mean, it was interesting just to see this lack of dialogue, and you see it progress more as the film kind of fleshes out. So with this film, to give that conflict air of what's going to happen is the pig is taken brutally. I mean, someone breaks into their home. At first, I think it's coyotes, but someone breaks in the home, hits Nicolas Cage in the head with a bat, takes the pig, and leaves. Nicolas Cage awakens and finds his friend, and they embark on a journey to rescue his pig. So this whole movie is around the aspect of saving the pig. And throughout this journey, it's sad because this is the person he's grown to love. And as you see his character slowly develops, you know that he was this amazing cook. I'm talking about maybe Gordon Ramsay level kind of cook. And at one moment in his life, when he was at the pinnacle of his career, he just disappears. There's nothing left of him. He just leaves. So throughout the story, you're like, okay, what happened? I mean, what made this man turn away from so much fame and passion, of cooking because he was at such a high level? And then you slowly learn through his interactions with the people in his past that cooking for him was the ultimate goal of passion, but it didn't fulfill him anymore because a certain event happened and that took all the passion and joy away from him. So he has to struggle through pretty much going through trials of his past to try to get his pig back. And I really like how they use his name as a main symbol. It's Robin Feld, and this name is like etched in everyone's memory. People still talk about how amazing of a cook he was. And this name kind of follows him throughout the story. It opens doors for him, it gives him opportunities to actually rescue his pig, which it's interesting because he's abandoned this name for so many years and lived in total isolation. I mean, he only hung around a pig and one man that would supply him with the necessary rations that he needed. But it's interesting to see it all kind of flesh out, especially character wise. I mean, you have this character that's a stoic character, doesn't say much, and then slowly you see by his actions how many lives he's actually impacted. Another interesting concept this movie kind of tackles is the food industry, how cooks pretty much cook for these people, but there's no satisfaction. You rush through these meals, you hand them out, and that's it. So it talks about that, and then another aspect is technology, because you see throughout this movie that technology is faulty, it's misguided, it doesn't register well compared to human compassion. And we see that clash quite a bit in the movie where, like, for instance, just the very beginning of the movie, he's trying to get somewhere in his truck and he tries to drive off and the thing just breaks down. So he has to endure and walk all the way to the nearest rest stop so he can try to contact somebody because he doesn't like technology. I felt like this movie had a very interesting feel because it felt like the movie Burt, which is a very interesting cooking movie, and then Fight Club. So it had the it had the idea of like a cooking movie, and then the literal movie Fight Club, where people just get together and beat the crap out of each other. So that's kind of the feel of cooking movie Fight Club, and you have to watch the movie if you want to understand the Fight Club reference. The whole movie took me by surprise. Okay, I mean, you have Nicolas Cage starring in a role where he's kind of like a hermit in a little solitary house with a pig, and then you have the Fight Club aspect, which took me off guard. And I was like, okay, I'll roll with it. Why not? And then the ending where he uses that human compassion to find out about the pig, and then it's just a rush of emotions at the end of the movie where you're just like you're kind of like just it's just very empty because I mean you feel like the main character, you're just empty because there's no progress. I mean you have the main character, Nicolas Cage's main character, Robin Feld, has a decision to make. He has a choice, and you don't get to see the end of that choice. No one does. You can only speculate and assume, but it's a sad truth that he has to face, and unfortunately, it's life. He has to face life, and he has a choice to make. And the ending, like I said, it makes you feel empty, and it's like I don't know. It's one of those movies where you watch it all the way through and you're like, okay, this is it. This is what we want to see, and then you just get smacked in the gut with human emotion, and you're just like, dang, I was not expecting that. And that's the empty feeling that I'm trying to describe that the movie kind of portrays, and it's not a good feeling. But overall, it was, I thought, in my opinion, a pretty amazing movie. I like seeing Nicolas Cage in these roles where he's not that talkative. He's very stoic. It's good. He fleshes out the character so much better with small little bits of dialogue because his action speaks so many more volumes than the amount of words that he can produce. And I love it. I love it when he does the cooking. Seeing the cooking aspect speak for him, and it spoke so fluently that it was just amazing. The ending, his last meal that he cooks, is amazing, and I love how it really speaks to the human condition. I love that aspect of the movie. So please check it out if you have not seen Pig already. Last time I saw it, it was on Hulu. Check it out on Hulu if you haven't. Please do. It's quite an amazing movie, and I do recommend it. Again, if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button and smack that like button for more movie reviews, anime reviews, and video game reviews here on this channel at Fresh Look Cinema. Hope to see you again.